Peace, sisters. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you exactly the steps that you need to take, 9 tips on how to make your life unapologetically excellent. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, so this morning I'm in a very purple and blue mood. As you can see, I got the purple candle burning, I got the blue candle burning, I'm wearing a purple and blue. Your girl's just in that kind of energy. And I actually think that today I'm going to be taping the amethyst stone for next week's video because I'm in that purple mood, so why not? But as far as this video goes, we are going to talk about 9 tips to make you unapologetically excellent this year. Sorry, need a sip of tea. Okay, tip number 1. Don't allow yourself to make excuses. So, something that a lot of women do, or a lot of people do, I should say, they feel like they have to make excuses for why they're not accomplishing the goals that they should be accomplishing. And in an unapologetically excellent life, there's no excuses. We don't have time for excuses. So you, my sisters and my brothers who will be taking this journey with me, will get into the habit of, inshallah, not making excuses. We are not going to allow ourselves to have any excuse of why we're not accomplishing or doing the task that we are setting ourselves forward to do. That way, there is no way that we will be missing the goals and the targets that we're trying to accomplish. Okay, so that's tip number 1. And I want this series, I really want this series to be one that we are doing together. So I want you guys to share with me, ultimately what your thoughts are on these tips and how you will be able to apply them in your lives. Like if you're one of the people who is making the unapologetically excellent commitment and challenge, join this challenge with us. I want this to be something that we're dialoguing about on a regular basis. Okay, so tip number 1 is no excuses. You cannot allow yourself to make any excuse for anything that you were supposed to be doing. That is the first commitment. Okay, that's the first step towards change. No excuses. Tip number 2, push yourself to do something you would not usually do. So what does that mean? That means when you're unapologetically excellent, you're outside the box. You're dynamic. You're achieving goals in every way, shape, and form that you could ever imagine. That means that we aren't staying and we aren't holding ourselves in any boxes. You see this box? If you got any box like this in your life, throw it out. You have to remove yourself. Any limits that you have placed on yourself, you have to remove them. Any spaces and boxes you put yourself in, any stereotypes, any critiques like, I can't do that vision board that I've been saying because I got this problem and I got that problem. No excuses. Oh, well, Hadida, I've been struggling with, trying to get work done. And then when I get home, the kids are all over the place and I got to get them together and I need to change that up. No excuses. We're pushing ourselves to do something that we would not usually do. If the vision board is something you've been struggling with, and we're going to have videos about this. Don't worry, because I got some examples of vision boards that I've done that I would like to inspire you guys with. So if the vision board is something that you've been trying to do, for example, push yourself to do it. Don't allow yourself to sink into a place of not achieving a goal because of X, Y, and Z, whatever your excuse may be. We are pushing ourselves to achieve things that we would have never done before. And that's going to be sometimes a little bit uncomfortable. We're going to be taken out of our comfort zone. Comfort zones don't exist in unapologetic excellence. Comfort zones is something that was of the past, and we are no longer staying in comfort zones. We are pushing ourselves outside of every comfort zone we've ever had. If your goal is to be a life coach, but you have this fear of public speaking, or you have this fear of being in front of the camera, or you have this fear of crowds, okay, we're going to schedule you to do something or to go someplace to not only learn the art of public speaking, but to also learn and experience, more so experience than learn, being in that public space, being in that space where you're now standing in front of a group of people and you can't turn back. There is no turn back. One of the ways that I do that, I'll give you guys an example. For me, procrastination is an issue. It's something I enjoy, the planning and the collaboration that goes into starting something new. So I'm all into like, okay, I'm going to do this project. This is how I'm going to do it. I mean, I make bullet points, I make lists, I make vision boards, I set stuff up, I set up the space. But then when it comes time to do it, I'm like, oh, I got to do it now. I gotta actually step out of my comfort zone. Well, this year is about that. So for you guys, on YouTube, for example, I've been saying I'm going to do a series on unapologetically excellent. I'm going to do a series on womb health. I'm going to do a series on citrine candles. I'm going to do citrine stones and this stone and that stone. I'm going to do a whole thing on how to heal yourself with herbs so that you don't have to go to the doctor. All this stuff that I done collaborated and made a million lists about what I was going to do. And it was not until this year that I began to do it. And the way that I'm holding myself accountable for it is I'm putting it out there. I'm telling you on a national spectrum, whether it's 1 million people watching the video or if it's 2, accountability for me is a huge thing. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to try my very hardest to keep my word. So with me knowing that about myself, I put it out there to my community so that there is no turning back. If I tell you that I'm going to do a series on the crystal course, and I mentioned that in the video, when I go back and I'm looking through the video, I'm like, oh, shoot. I said I was going to do a crystal course. I said it was going to air every Saturday or every Wednesday or every whatever particular session I'm doing. It's going to air every such and such day. Oh man, that means I actually have to do it. It's making me do things that I would not usually do. And that accountability of telling somebody that you were going to do it is what pushes you. So that is tip number 2. Tip number 3. Set a list of things that you have been procrastinating about and set a date that you're going to accomplish them. So for example, in the beginning of this year, I said, there are, say, 50 things that I've been procrastinating about for the past 2 years. This year, I'm going to complete all of them. The way that I'm going to complete all of them is I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. It was not good enough for me to make a list, which is what I originally did. What I needed to do was, by the way, this is frankincense and myrrh that I am burning, rock, frankincense, and myrrh. If you're interested, as of today at midnight, you'll be able to find it on the Red Tent website. But anyway, so I made a list, and the list that I made was about 50 items. And these 50 items were a list of everything that I said I was going to do. So, okay, so for example, I said that I was going to set up my red room, right, for me to be able to do shoots in there and for me to be able to introduce you guys to a different herb every week and for us to study the herbs in depth. So I put that down on the list. Now, the next thing for me to do after I put it down on the list is for me to enter it into my calendar. So I'm a big personal planner, and this is another thing that we're going to get into about this unapologetically excellent. In order to be unapologetically excellent, you got to be organized and you got to be prepared. And organization and preparation comes with having a calendar, having a daily planner. I personally love the idea of having one, but do I use it? No. Every year I will buy one, and every year I will leave it on the shelf. Every year I would buy one, I would carry it around in my purse. I would do all this stuff acting like I was going to use it, and I would never use it, and my money went to waste. But this year, I'm making myself be accountable for not only using it, but accomplishing the goals that are on it. So if you can resonate with that, I think that this challenge would be good for you also. So I put the stuff down on the list. Not only did I make the list, I said, okay, Mondays and Thursdays are going to be my days to accomplish something that I've been saying I was going to do and I haven't done. I haven't done all year. And there's 52 weeks in a year. So if I do something Monday and Thursday every day, by the time June comes, all of the goals that I have set on my list should be done. Because there's only 50 things on the list that I've been procrastinating about. And so the idea is to not only, we're writing it down. The importance of writing it down is for you to be able to track and chart your progress, and also keep account of what you're telling yourself you're going to accomplish. Okay, so you're going to write down everything that you want to do on this list. That's why the list is important. It's not good enough to text it. We ain't doing no texting to ourselves. We're not doing no emailing. Get off of your electronic devices and write it. And you're writing it because writing it makes you have a realization. It makes the mind and the pen coordinate together, and it holds a sense of, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing such and such. There are studies that show when you write, it sticks to the brain. Texting does not stick. So we're not sending ourselves a memo or a note or talking to Cortana or Alexa about what the goal is and them reminding us. No, we are writing it down. We're going to create a journal and an organized system for this, because this is the way that we are going to become unapologetically excellent. So you write your stuff down on the list. You set up a day in a week or 2 days or 3 weeks. Push yourself 5 days, however many days you think that you can actually stick with. You push yourself to write down a list, assign a task to each of those days. And after you assign a task to those days, you begin to accomplish the goals. Okay? So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4. Wake up early to start your day. If you're Muslim, you already should be getting up for Fajr. But if you're not Muslim and you're watching this channel, which I'm sure a lot of you probably are not, we get up in my household at sunrise. At sunrise, I'm waking everybody up, not only for prayer. Let me take that back. I wake people up for prayer, but at the same time, after prayer and after we do the whole, zikr and everything, I allow my daughter to go back to sleep, and then I myself take a moment for myself. And that's because if you are getting up at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, I prefer 4:30 to 5 o'clock. If I'm getting up at 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the morning, it is so much that you can get accomplished by 10 o'clock at night and get a decent sleep and get the kids in the bed and have a moment that you're taking with yourself and with your mate. If you have a husband or a significant other, you're able to take that time with them that you would not have been able to take if you did not get up early. And the time with yourself that you would not have been able to take if you did not get up early. So getting up early allows you to get a jump start, not only to your day, but to your entire plan of accomplishment, because it allows you, if everybody else in the world is getting up at 8 or 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock because they're trying to head out to work, if you get up at 4 o'clock, you're getting 3 additional hours. 3 additional hours is a lot of time. You could get done all of your affirmations, all of your prayers, and I'm going to do some videos on morning and night routines, what my morning and night routine looks like, so that you guys can have an idea of what these things are that I'm talking about. But if you create a morning routine for yourself, my morning routine is, okay, I wake up, I make my wudu, I make my salat if it's the time. If not, if it's before the time, I still make my wudu, because the practice of ablution is a rejuvenation and a cleansing. So whether you're Muslim or not, for you to wash your face, brush your teeth, it's just normal etiquettes and hygiene that you would do. So you wash your face, you brush your teeth if you are Muslim. If you're Muslim, you make a wudu. After you wudu, you get up, you say your prayers, you say your affirmations. Then I make my salat. Then after that, I sit down and I look through. Before I even touch my phone, I don't touch my phone at all during this time, because the phone is something that if you check your email, if you check your text, or you check your WhatsApp, or you check your Messenger, or your Facebook feed, you want to get stuck in there for another hour. I put my calendar next to my bed. I put my goals next to my bed, and I look at what it is that I want to achieve. And when I look at those goals and I look at those affirmations and I look at those things that I have on my list today to achieve, it gives me a sense of, yes, I could do this. I don't have to worry. I don't have to stress about how I'm going to get it done. The plan is already here. I set out the plan, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. I make a list of what I want to accomplish that day, and I just start out to do it. And that's my morning routine. So you want to make a plan and a list to create your accomplishments, and you want to set out to do them every single day. Okay, tip number 5. It goes into the thing that we just talked about a few seconds ago, which was tip number 4 of creating, waking up early. And then tip number 5 is to create your morning and night routine. If you create your morning and night routine and you stick to it, that sticking to it allows you to create a habit. And that habit allows you to make that a regular part of your life. And once it becomes a regular part of your life, there is no turning back to do anything other than what you have set out to accomplish. So this Unapologetically Excellent has some tips to it. And if every morning I say, okay, these are the things that I need to be doing. These are the things that I want to make sure that I'm accomplishing. This is my morning routine. This is how I'm going to stick to it. And I'm reminding myself of that every single day. And I'm looking at my goals every single day. And I'm performing the morning routine that I came up with and the night routine that I came up with. And I'm sticking to that. It creates a habit, and that habit is what pushes it and accelerates it throughout the rest of your life, but specifically this year, 2019, so that we can reach our goal of becoming unapologetically excellent. So tip number 6 is for you, do whatever it is that you set out as your goal for 21 days straight at least. Studies say that if you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit. And as I just stated, with tip number 5, if it becomes a habit, it's something that will become a part of the rest of your life. So our goal is not to just live 2019 of unapologetically excellent. We want to carry this attitude of unapologetically excellent every single year, every single day of our life, for the remaining of our life. We want to make sure that we are being unapologetically excellent. Okay, tip number 7, start before you're ready. So how many of us have this idea of, okay, as soon as I get, specifically for me, because I'm a perfectionist, that's like my biggest issue. I'm a perfectionist. For example, I hate the fact that I have this, you guys probably don't even notice it, but I have this frame missing on my wall. If I was to be like, oh man, I'm going to do the videos of my spiritual space and how I'm going to create sacred space, and I'm going to take from my sacred space every time, right? But then I was always stuck on the fact that I didn't have a picture to cover up that square that's missing, that's there on the wall from an old picture being there that I took down. I would have never started this. I got to start before I'm ready. So the perfectionist part of me says, Hadida, you really going to take these videos with that ugly square on your wall like people can't see it? And the unapologetically excellent part of me says, hell yeah. I'm taping this video with the square on my wall looking stupid, because it's not about the square on my wall. It's about what I'm trying to accomplish. It's not about the square on the wall. It's about me completing all the tasks and fulfilling those procrastination goals that I've had on the list all these years, me fulfilling those. And the way that I'm going to fulfill those is by completing these different aspects that I've been having that I haven't assessed yet, or that I haven't done and that I haven't paid any attention to. So that means for you, my dears, start before you're ready. If your goal is to be an entrepreneur, if you're a woman that's an entrepreneur, and I can help you with this because I believe in working for self. I'm not trying to kill myself working for nobody. I want to be retired by the time I'm 40 and have me a nice, beautiful, huge house and a yacht and everything else that I want. If your goal is to be an entrepreneur and you've been saying you were going to look up the things that you need in your state to register your business, right? But you're like, oh man, I only have, say, 5 necklaces for sale instead of the 50 that I want. Or I only have 3 bags for sale instead of the 10 that I want or that I said I wanted to do as my line. Or I only have 2 types of herbs and not 5 type of herbal blends, for whatever. Start before you're ready. Start with the 2 that you have. Why? Because when you put the 2 out there and you get the feedback from the people about the 2, it will encourage you and push you to complete the other 3. But if you never start and you never put yourself out there and you never create this sense of accountability for yourself, you will never accomplish the goal. I'm here to tell you. I myself am a person, like I told you before, I will make a list of 50 million things I'm going to do. I will make a master plan for it. But if I never tell somebody that I'm going to do it, I'm going to hold it on to myself and I'm going to feel this sense of accomplishment by myself. Like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Oh, yeah, that was a beautiful plan I came up with. The plan don't mean nothing until you put it into action. So you got to start before you're ready. Don't worry about what you don't have. Don't worry about what's lacking. Don't worry about the fact that your labels might not be exactly how you wanted them. One day I'm going to show you my journey of labels. What the heck I used to use on the bottles when I first started and what I use now. The containers I used to use before and what I use now. So that you guys can see, oh, okay, she actually lived this. Yeah, I lived this. I went out and I vended. You know those little, at the dollar store, you can get these little packs of, say, 10 in the pack, circular containers. I used to take those. I used to whip up my shea butter, same product that I had, but the appearance is everything for me. I feel like appearance is everything. If my packaging is horrible, nobody's going to buy it. This is what I used to tell myself. So I used to procrastinate on doing it. Then one day I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go with it. I'm going to see what happens. I went to a Dune Day. My first year at a Dune Day, y'all. A Dune Day, if you don't know, is a huge African festival that they have here in Philadelphia. Every year I said I wanted to do a Dune Day. I'm going to do a Dune Day. I'm going to do a Dune Day. Well, that particular year, my first year, I went to a Dune Day. I went with all my tacky packaging of my incense, of my shea butters. I put the stuff in there and I had a handwritten label. Okay. I had herbs that I had put into sandwich bags because I didn't have the appropriate bag for it. And I was selling it. Guess what? A Dune Day is $450 to vend there for one day. It's steep, but it's because of the amount of people who come down there. Guess how much I made, y'all? And this just told me that I can do it. On top of what I paid out for me to go there, I made $475 profit. That was after the expenses of me buying the products that I had to buy. That was after me putting, all my time and energy and calculating my pay and all of that kind of stuff that goes into business that you have to do and the fees and this and that. After all of that, I had $450 profit. What would have happened if I never took that step towards going to a Dune Day with my corny packaging? I would have never knew that the products that I had, people were interested in. That I would have never discovered. I would have always been wondering and guessing if people needed what it was that I was trying to offer. But number 2, what it did is it proved to me that I could accomplish whatever I put my mind to. And you too can accomplish whatever you put your mind to if you start before you're ready. Do not allow yourself to be your worst enemy and tell you that you cannot accomplish something because you're not ready. You are ready. Start now. Don't wait until later. Don't wait till you think you got it all together. Start now. Because if you start before you're ready, you don't have to worry about never reaching your highest potential. You will become unapologetically excellent. Okay, tip number 8. Challenge yourself mentally and spiritually every single day. Okay, Adita, what does that mean? To challenge yourself mentally means I'm going to do something that mentally enriches me. So if it's a book that you're reading, if it's a motivational speaker you're listening to, do it every single day. right? And if there are spiritual practices that you enjoy, such as meditation or prayer or zikr, whatever it is, do that every single day. Why? Because one key thing about unapologetically excellent or unapologetic excellence is that you have to be constantly in a high vibration. What does it mean to have a high vibration? Okay, high vibration means we don't have time and space for depression. Not that life isn't going to bring those things to you. Not that life isn't going to make you sometimes a little bit weary. You're allowed to be weary. But I'm going to tell you, you got about 5 minutes to stay in your weary space. And then I'm going to kick you out of that weary space. Why? Because if you allow yourself to waddle around in your sadness and your despair and, oh my God, my bills aren't paid. What am I going to do over here? I don't have this money together. Oh my God, my kids, they're bad. What am I going to do with them? They need counseling. They need this. They need that. But Hadida, my job, they said they was laying people off. What if they lay me up? We don't have no time to focus on nothing negative. We can manifest whatever it is that we've been waiting to manifest. We can do it. We have the power to do it. God, Allah, the universe, the creator, whatever you want to call the higher power energy, is waiting for you to make the first step towards your own greatness. If you never make the first step, you are not going to reach it. The only way to reach that is to always be in a high vibration. So if you are feeding yourself mentally every single day with knowledge, and I don't mean stuff, technically it should be from a book. We should all be reading. It's just saying if you want to hide something from a person, put it in a book, specifically African American, put it in a book. As messed up as that saying is, and it bugs me every time I hear it, reality is there's a little bit of truth in it. How much of us are reading every single day? Are you reading every single day? Yeah, probably not. I myself am making an intention to read in the morning. That's part of my morning routine, to read at least a half an hour every single day. Not because we want to fill our minds with everybody else's opinion, but we want to constantly be educating ourselves. Because if we're educating ourselves and we're reaching towards those goals, there is no way that we don't have the tools that we need when we go to accomplish them that we need. We have everything there because we would have studied it. Okay? So after studying is the actualization. So we're going to be feeding ourselves mentally, and we're going to be feeding ourselves spiritually. And with the two of those combined, it's going to create for you a high vibration bubble that's going to surround you every single day. And that high vibration bubble is what's going to make you float. Like, you know how when you were a kid, you blow the bubble and the bubbles go float. Yeah, you're going to be floating in your high vibration bubble throughout the universe and throughout this year 2019 of being unapologetically excellent. So we're going to feed ourselves mentally and we're going to feed ourselves spiritually every single day so that our vibration stays high and so that we accomplish the goals that we want to do. And last but not least, tip number 9. Never apologize another day in your life for your accomplishments or for your excellence. Never apologize another day in your life for your accomplishments or for your excellence. And even if you are a person who has not physically said, oh, I'm sorry, never allow another person to knock you off of your square and to take you off of your goals and your accomplishments that you have set for yourself another day in your life. If you have a mate or significant other who was in your life at one time and now it's baggage, by all means, kick that person to the curb, because their negativity and their energy constantly being in your life is going to be pouring negative energy and stopping you, creating a roadblock for you that you don't need. An unapologetically excellent life does not have people, places, and situations that's crowding them in a bunch of space around them in their lives. We have free, open space. We have free, open possibilities. We aren't being held back by people, places, or situations. So kick that person to the curb. If you have traits about yourself that you don't like, work on them. By all means, work on them every single day. When you work on them, you're going to be uplifted because you're going to begin to see yourself accomplish things that you never thought you can accomplish. You're going to start to push yourself outside of those boxes that we talked about, that you never thought you would be able to push yourself outside of. You have to take today to be your starter day, to live an unapologetically excellent life for the rest of your life. No people, no places, no situation that creates clutter in your life and that stops and hinders you from reaching your best and ultimate good. Okay? So I hope this list was for you. This video was definitely longer than 15 minutes. I said I was going to try to keep them to 15 minutes, but it didn't happen because as things come to me, I just want to share this energy with you and I want to share this vibration of us achieving our goals. I'm hyped up for it, y'all. I'm hyped. I'm loving the energy that has come into 2019 with me. Not only was that trip to Africa a part of it, but the self-realization that I can no longer stay in the place where I was before is what really kicked this thing into the next dimension. And so I'm coming to you and I'm encouraging you, if you just now watching this video, go back and watch the video of how I came to the decision of making, a video, hashtag of unapologetically excellence. Go back and watch that. Go back and watch the high vibrational talks, the sister talks that we have. If you're a sister, go and look at those talks because those are the energy pushing and vibration pushing talks that you're going to need throughout your day to keep you motivated. This is about us motivating each other. If you have positive feedback or comments, please put them in the comment box below. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button so that you will always be kept up to date when I'm putting up new content and new videos so we can do this walk of unapologetically excellence together this year in 2019. Peace. I love you, sisters and brothers. If you're on here, I love you too. And I will be looking forward to talking to you very soon about the amethyst crystal because week number 2 of our crystal study is coming up. Peace, sisters.